What up? Yeah? Excuse me. Can I sit right there? Okay. Oh, my sweet girl. You want to talk about some books? Want to talk about some books? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. I am in like a very good mood right now. Not only have I just gotten back from having a little dinner date with my bestie Debbie, I found out in an email that I got this evening that we are back working from home full time. So I am just ecstatic right now. It's been a long journey. But if you work from home and having to go into an office, you know what I mean. I got used to going into the office. It was no big deal. I enjoyed being with the ladies every day, but it's so nice to be at home and be able to do your own thing. So today we're going to be talking about my August wrap up. I think I forgot to say that. This might be a little crazy of a video. I also have, can't see it in, well, maybe a little bit. This is the box here. My sister-in-law gets FabFitFun box, like the seasonal box, and she absolutely loves it. Well, she's been like after me. She's like, you're gonna love it, you need to get it. I just never got into it. So she told me the other day, she said, like, I got an offer to give a friend a FabFitFun starter box. Would you want it? It's like $5. Okay, sure. So she sent me the link. I paid my $5 and I got it in today. And it took forever, but I got it in today. FabFitFun. I hear so many good things about FabFitFun. Like I said, my sister-in-law loves it. So we're gonna open it. I haven't opened it yet. We're gonna open it today and see what's inside this starter kit that we have. But first, the reason why you're here, that way at the end of the video you don't have to stick around for the FabFitFun if you really don't want to. But let's talk about some books. So I read, I believe, 15, read/listened to 15 total books in the month of August. One of those 15 was a reread for me, so of course we'll talk about that one as well. So here are the stack of books that I physically have that I read for this month, or well, no, for the month of August. I started the month off with Local Woman Missing by Mary Kabuka, or Kabika. I always want to say Kabuka. It's Kabika. I wasn't expecting much out of this one. I did hear good things about it, but after reading the other misses, I didn't have high hopes for this one because I've also heard good things about that one as well. I don't think Bella knows what she wants to do in here. She just knows I'm in here and she has to be in here. Anyway, I had a really great time with this book. I didn't want to put it down. I never saw it coming. There were a couple twists at the end. So at the beginning of this book, we get a prologue that lets us know from 11 years before a woman goes missing when she goes out for a run. And then not too long after that, another woman and her daughter, Delilah, go missing as well. So we mainly follow Delilah in this book as she takes us through the events of what is happening to her. We also hear from her brother Leo. All is good? It was fantastic. I did listen to this via audio. The audio is fantastic as well. We get a cast of characters, so we have many voices throughout the book. We follow other people when we're not following Delilah on her journey of what is happening. I gave it 5 stars. I wasn't expecting that from this book, but I'm glad it was a good one. Another 5-star thriller, Unputdownable, Insomnia by Sarah Penborough. Now, this is by no means compared to Behind Her Eyes, by no means, but it was still a very good story, a very entertaining read with lots of twists that I appreciated. I really enjoyed this book. So we follow Emma. Emma is turning 40. Her mother, when her mother turned 40, she started getting insomnia. She eventually went mad from not being able to sleep. Emma is starting to have the same symptoms. Like I said, very entertaining. I had a very good time with this book. I did listen to it via audio. Great narration for this one as well. I must say that I also like how Sarah Penborough, now I've only read 2 of her books now, Behind Her Eyes and this one, but I like how she puts in these sort of, I don't know if I want to call them paranormal situations. It's more like some sort of just like witchcraft voodoo stuff that she puts into her stories. This one not as prominent and crazy as Behind Her Eyes. This one was more subtle and kind of mixed into the story, but it was there, and I loved it. I love how she writes. Like I said, these are the only 2 books that I've read from her so far. I'll have to look and see if there's anything else out there by Sarah Penborough, but loved Insomnia, 5 stars. Y'all. Okay, The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I dropped this in the pool. So it is nice and crinkly and distorted, but it's okay. It's okay. I will be fine. I may eventually get another copy, but for now we're gonna roll with this one. I compared this to feeling like it would be like The Woman in the Window, but it's completely not. It's on a totally different level. Yes, it has its similarities, but totally different. So we follow Casey Fletcher. She is an actress. She is going through a rough time right now. So her family has a house on the lake. She has decided to take her mother's advice and go to the house on the lake to just kind of recoup and find herself again, I guess. But Casey has fell into the drink, so she is a bit of a drunk. So we have a little bit of an unreliable narrator here, constantly drunk, constantly drinking. I know some readers did not like that about our character, but I didn't mind. I thought that just sort of added to the story. This too also went in a direction that I was not prepared for from Riley Sager. Anyway, I thought I had a good time with it. I thought it was brilliantly done. So anyway, Casey is doing her thing, spending her time at the cabin drinking. She finds her late husband. Her husband passed away about a year ago, so she's kind of been teetering. So she finds his binoculars and she starts spying on the house across the lake. It's a beautiful home. It's like made of all windows. It's definitely more modern than what some of the rest of the houses on the lake are. It is occupied by a famous ex-model and her, I guess, infamous husband. So she just starts seeing different things that make her think different things about what's going on with this couple. It's not that she sees something happen, but she feels like she's seeing something happening, and before she knows it, the woman goes missing. So of course Casey thinks it's the husband. So here we are, just taking the journey of what happened to the beautiful ex-model in the house across the lake. We also, of course, get Casey's backstory of her and her husband, how they met, what happened to him. I thought it was excellent. I had a good time with it. It wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it, and I really was not expecting what went down from Riley Sager. I can see its faults, I will say that, but I still liked it. I still enjoyed it. Obviously, I didn't want to put it down. I brought it into the pool with me and proceeded to drop it. I chose not to listen to it because, well, I heard the audio was not good, so I decided to sample it for myself, and I did not like the voice of our character, Casey. I could see what everyone was saying about her. It really didn't portray the woman that I had in my head. So I'm glad I physically read this book. I think it took like a whole another level. Sometimes an audio can really do the book justice, and sometimes it ruins the book. So it's just, yeah, it's hard to pick and choose sometimes, but I had already heard the narration was not good, and then when I sampled it for myself, I decided that I was going to physically read it, and I'm glad I did. So I then decided to jump into a male romance. Of course, too many murders happening. I had to like refresh my brain. So I picked up Wicked Heat from Ella Frank. This is the first book in the Chicago Heat series. I like how Ella Frank's books are all sort of intertwined with each other. So in this one we get Ryan's story. We're introduced to Ryan in the Primetime series. He is Alexander's assistant. And Ryan is very GQ-esque. He's just, you know, very put together. I've been waiting for his love story. I was hoping he would get a love story in the Primetime series, but here we are with Wicked Heat. So we have Ryan and we have Jameson. Now Jameson is a little bit more rough around the edges. You know, he drives a motorcycle, rides a motorcycle. I'm not sure how to phrase that, but he's sort of a bad boy. But when you really get to know him, he has the biggest heart ever. But he has had a little bit of a rough life, and he is still trying to take care of his sister, who is just, where Jameson is trying to better himself, his sister is kind of doing the opposite. So we have a little bit of a backstory there, and basically our story is just Ryan trying to prove to Jameson that he is worth it, you know, that Jameson is worth the love of someone. It was a really cute story. It was a short and sweet little story. I did listen to this via audio. The narration was really good in this one. It wasn't the best I've read from Ella Frank. I kind of settled on 3.5, maybe 4 stars. Just I really love these two guys. The more you get to know Jameson, the more you love him. And then I hopped into the second book, which is Wicked Flame. Once again, the story of Ryan and Jameson continues. So we have a little bit more of more of a little drama in this one involving Jameson's sister. I didn't like this one as much as I liked the first book, but it was still fun. Like I said, I love these characters, and I wanted to experience their happily ever after, which you totally get in this book. I do think there's going to be some more books in this series, but I believe this is probably the end of Ryan and Jameson's story moving forward. I'm sure they'll be in the other books, but I feel like their happily ever after was, you know, the end of their story kind of thing. But I enjoyed it as well. Did listen to this one as well too, and really good narration. Then we get to You and Me by Talbert. 5 stars, 10 stars if I could give them. If there were 10 stars that I could give on Goodreads, I would give this book 10 stars. Now this is a very, very slow burn romance, and as well as a bi awakening story. So we have 2 guys. One of them is out and gay. The other one considers himself straight. Luke and Landon are their names. I had to go back. I knew it started with L's, but I couldn't, it wouldn't like come out. So we have Luke, who is a single dad. Landon also is a single dad, and their sons are actually best friends Landon's son is, I believe, a year older than Luke's son, but they both play football. They're both best friends. I was actually kind of hoping for something with these two guys, with the two, you know, sons, but the story is basically, it's just Luke and Landon. It's still brilliant though. So like I said, Luke and Landon are single dads. Luke and his son don't really have the best relationship. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the story, and I was rooting for Luke the entire time because he really wanted to have that relationship with his son. Luke's wife died at an early age due to, I'm not going to say because I think that kind of adds to the story, but I felt like even though she wasn't a character in the book, I didn't like her character. Like that's what the author made me feel. Like I did not like her character. I felt like she was the reason Luke and his son did not have that good relationship. They had a good relationship when Luke was younger, but once Luke got into, you know, older, and Luke felt like he was sort of losing some sort of connection with his son that his wife was having instead of him. So now that his wife is gone, he's trying to, you know, get that relationship back with his son. So he joins, I guess, like the parent committee of the football team. Like they get together during the week. They throw dinners for the boys after practice. They're there for the boys during practice, you know, giving them whatever they need, water, Gatorade. It's a little committee for the little, you know, the football team. So he decides to join the team. Bella's doing a little stretching over here in the corner. She's distracting me. So this is where Luke and Landon meet. Landon is actually, I guess I want to say like the president, or maybe he's the vice president of the little group that they have. Landon and his son have a great relationship, of course. But Landon also has a little bit of a backstory. He was Mormon and he was married, and he just later on decided that he wanted to explore that side, that other side of him, that true gay side of him. He felt like he was lying to his wife, and he didn't want to put her through that. So he decided to leave her and live a happier life as a gay man. And his story is really beautiful. Both their stories are beautiful in different ways. Like Luke's story is just sort of a devastating kind of story, where Landon it's still heartbreaking, but it's a happy thing for him. I could go on and on about this book, but I'll keep it short because this is already going to be a long video. It was just beautiful. I cried sad tears. I cried happy tears. The entire book, couldn't put it down. It was beautiful from start to finish. I can't say any more good things about it. But yeah, as Luke and Landon become friends, Luke starts to feel something for Landon, but he's not sure what it is. He feels like it's a little bit more deeper than a friendship, and then all of a sudden it comes to him that he is very into Landon and he wants to explore that side. So like I said, slow burn, but the chemistry between these two it just lights up the pages. I mean, it was so good, so intense. And when they finally get together, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Okay, moving on. So next I picked up Upgrade by Blake Crouch. This was a book of the month pick. I had very high hopes for this because dark matter is one of my favorites. Recursion is very good as well, but I was not into Upgrade. I don't even remember really what this was about. I believe it does have to do with the evolution of like the human brain. Who do we follow? Who was his name? Logan is his name. His mother was a super smart scientist, and she has come up with like this I guess, upgrade for the human brain. Like, you can just like take in stuff better, read faster, talk faster. You're upgraded. You're just like this superhuman. And I want to say she maybe was using it in a bad way. I don't know. I don't remember much about this book because it never would sink in. Nothing ever grabbed me. I didn't really care for any of the characters. We mainly follow Logan, but he has a sister. I didn't like her at all. I mean, I got through the book, but I can't even tell you how it ended. Like, I continued. I did listen to it. Even the narration I didn't really care for, but I continued to listen to it. I did get it off. I used a credit on Audible. I returned it because it was not worth to me a credit. So yes, I'm sad to say, and I really hate to say it, that this one just didn't do it for me. This one, on the other hand, did do it for me. This is Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier, also a Book of the Month pick. This is, I had a hard time doing a review on this because it's hard not to give anything away when you're trying to talk about this book. So we mainly follow Paris Peralta. The book starts us off with she's basically standing over the body of her dead husband, holding the weapon in her hand. So of course she is accused of his murder. But there is way more to that story than there appears to be. We also get another story on the side of that, of a woman named Ruby and her daughter Joey. So we hear from Joey about her life as a child growing up with Ruby. Ruby was not the best mother. Ruby is in prison for killing a man, and she is now getting out of prison. She has served her time. So there's a story there. Then we have Drew Malcolm. He is a podcaster. He decides he's gonna do Ruby's story. Ruby is getting out of prison after all these years. He's going to cover her story on his podcast. But he is linked to Ruby in a very personal way. See, it's very difficult to talk about. There's so many things going on. So many things. Like, I had to pay really close attention. I did listen to this on audio. It was a very good narration. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I had to really pay attention to soak everything in. Who was who did what. You know, I did sort of guess a little bit of one of the twists, but I wasn't 100% on it. Other than that, yeah, I did not know where this was going at all, and I had a good time. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Then we have my Fence graphic novels. I have the volume 4 here called Rivals, and then volume 5 called Rise. I actually talked about this one on my COVID vlog. My friend Ashley from Bent Biblio's podcast sent me a Get Well Amazon gift card, so I used it to get my beloved Fence guys because while I was sick, I was completely into the fencing world with these guys. So thank you, Ashley, again. I know I've told you many times, but it means a lot. Thank you. Their podcast is always linked down in my description. Ashley and Tegan, wonderful ladies doing good things, talking about books. There's interviews with authors on their podcast. It's a great book podcast. If you're looking for a book podcast, that's a lot to say, but the link is down below if you want to go check them out. So in this one, our guys travel to the state championship to compete against one of their rival teams. So we get to meet other fencing characters in here. We get to meet fencing rivals. One of Seji's rivals pops up. We have a little bit more intimacy with Seji and Nicholas. I love all these characters. In the 5th one, again, our guys are traveling to a training camp in this one. I get confused because I know they were both traveling in both of these. But yeah, fence training, learning from each other, their relationships growing between each other. We have a romance between Harvard, who is our team captain, and Aiden, who is just a very, very difficult character. He's very hard on himself, and he kind of just like blows it off by just, you know, being this arrogant guy. But I secretly really love him. But my favorites are Nicholas and Seji. I want them to get together so bad. So then I picked up, in between those, I picked up Fence Disarm. This is the novel. This is written by Sarah Reese Brennan. 5 stars, by the way. 5 stars for this one too. And this one, our guys go to Paris. And all these are linked some kind of way. There is, I think in the 5th one, there is mentioning of when the guys went to Paris in this one. So a little bit more into our guys here. This is Harvard and this is Aiden. A little bit more of their love story in this book. Again, we get to know the guys better. Nicholas, Seji, Eugene. They're traveling to Paris, city of love. Yeah, it was so much fun. I think I talked more about this in my COVID vlog. If you haven't checked that one out, it'll be linked down below. I'm feeling much better, by the way. Thank y'all for all the lovely get well comments. Then I finally picked up Unwanted. This is by Marley Valentine. I couldn't get into this story. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know. There was something about it that I wasn't into the characters. So we have 2 guys that grew up in the foster system. I don't even remember their names. Arlo and Frankie. They had a rough time growing up. One of them turned to drugs. Time passes, I believe, I don't remember how long, but they sort of come back together and try to figure out, you know, where they belong in each other's life. Are they just friends? Can they be more? But I mean, it was a good story, had good potential, but something about it just didn't grab me, and I wasn't into the guys. I don't know, but beautiful cover. But then we have Strings Attached by Riley Hart. This is Harrison and Xander's story. We have a little bit of a age gap here. Forbidden type of romance. So Harrison is Xander's best friend's dad. So yeah, big age gap there. They've never met each other. Xander's friend Ross has talked about his dad before, and of course Xander has talked to his dad about, Ross has talked to his dad about Xander before, but they've never officially met. Xander graduated college, and he will be moving to Atlanta with Ross to live in. They're going to be roommates, and he's a teacher. He's 8th grade English, I believe. So yeah, he graduated. He's moving. He's going to be a teacher. So he goes out to celebrate, to treat himself to a beautiful man for one night, and he goes to a bar, and this is where he meets Harrison. But like I said, they don't know who each other are. Harrison is in his 40s, Xander is 22. So about a 20-year difference between them, but they light up together. They are just perfect for each other. Xander is just very, Xander was a difficult character. That's kind of why I gave it 4 stars, because he annoyed me pretty much the entirety of the book. I just wanted to just be like, look, you can accept help. It's okay. Like, he wouldn't accept help from anybody. He felt like he didn't deserve it, and he came from, he came from a family that his dad left when he was younger. His mother has fallen, not ill, but she's not in the best of health. She's still a beautiful woman. Anyway, he wants to just take care of them. He's never had anybody take care of him. So when Harrison comes along, Harrison just wants to take care of Xander because he's falling for him. So they decide to have like this little relationship of like no strings attached. And of course later on it becomes strings attached because they start falling for each other. I really had a good time with this book. If it wouldn't be for Xander being such a hard-headed character, I would have loved it even more. But yeah, he just got on my nerves just a little bit, but it was still a good book. Then we have The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I gave this 3 stars. Once again, definitely not my favorite Ruth Ware, but I still love this author. This was not a bad book though. I enjoyed my time with it. I listened to it via audio. It's narrated by Imogen Church, who is a fantastic narrator. She narrates, I believe, all of Ruth Ware's books, and she just has the perfect, haunting British or English voice that just fits into the stories that Ruth Ware is trying to tell. So in this one, we mostly follow Hannah before and after. Before is when she was in college, when she meets April, the it girl. April sort of takes her in underneath her wing, introduces her to all her friends, and they all sort of become friends. And then April is murdered. I don't think her murder was ever really fully solved. A man did go to prison for it, but of course he always pleaded not guilty. So there was still issues of, did he do it? Did he not do it? And then we get Hannah's story of after, where she's telling us of events that happened afterwards in current time. She is pregnant with her first child. She has married Will. Will is actually one of their friends in the friend group. He actually dated April back in college. The only thing I got a little confused, as there's no chapters, it's just before and after. And as we're winding down to the story, as we're getting to the end, it was hard to keep up of what was before and what was after, because it all sort of like melds together. But I definitely didn't see it coming. There's a little bit of a twist within a twist. Yeah. That I really thought was, at first I didn't really know how I liked it, but I think I kind of liked it. Anyway, I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best Ruth Ware, but I had a good time. And lastly, but definitely not least, I have Top Secret by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen. This was my reread, or actually I listened to this. I read this when I first read it, physically read it, and I decided I wanted to listen to it because it is narrated by none other than Jacob Morgan and Christian Fox. I've never really listened to his narration, but he has a very sexy voice, and it did great things for our characters. Not Jacob Morgan, Teddy Hamilton. I get the, like, they're a great duo, Jacob Morgan and Teddy Hamilton. I knew it was one of them, but it's Teddy Hamilton and Christian Fox. Yes. Love Teddy Hamilton. Christian Fox is new to me, but he did great things for this character in this book. So we have Keaton and Luke. They are in college. They are in the same frat house. They are both running for president. Keaton has a little bit better, he's a little bit better off than Luke. Luke is working hard to stay in the frat house and make his way through college. He's working different jobs and just trying to get through college. Then we have Keaton. Like I said, he's got it very easily, but our story actually revolves around Keaton and, well, it starts off with Keaton and his girlfriend asking for a third party in their bedroom for her birthday, and she wants it to be a guy. So Keaton, being the great guy that he is, gets on one of the apps and starts looking around for that third party. And little does he know that that third party is Luke. They don't know each other in the chat. They just call each other like lobster shorts and oh, what's Luke's handle? Center 3. So yeah, the chemistry, and I love the back and forth, like through the app with these two guys. Loved it. I mean, it was just as good the second time around as it was the first time. But yeah, I love the back and forth through the app, the chemistry they have between each other through the app. And then I loved when they finally get to meet, or when they finally figure out who each other are, and then develop enemies to lover relationship after that. Oh, I loved it. Oh, I love this book. It will always be one of my favorite male romances. All right, that is all the books. I have a feeling my camera's gonna shut off before I get to show y'all what's in the FabFitFun box, but let's see if we can go through this fairly quickly. So like I said, this is the starter kit. So I didn't know what I was gonna be getting, but I know if you become a FabFitFun subscriber, you get to pick what you want. Yeah, my camera's about to go off. Okay, I'll charge back up. So it comes with a little magazine here. Let's see what else we get, Bella. Oh, we have an eyelash curler. I don't really curl my lashes, but that's okay. I'll give this to my niece. Got a pretty little rose gold lash curler. It looks like it comes with some more little of those black, these little things. Whatever that is. But anyway, cool. See if my niece wants that. Then we have, what is this? Vitamin E Face Moisturizer. Malin and goats. I'll have to read the ingredients. Oh, no, it's got fragrance in it. I'm not picky, I promise. It's just my skin does not like fragrance, so I can't use fragrance products. But I have nieces that will love these things. What is this? That's Bella. What you got there, Bella? She loves paper. She plays with paper all the time. What is this? What do we have here? It's a hip lunch pack. Okay. How cute! That's cute. I mean, it's teeny tiny, but I'm sure I can use it for something. It's like we have some sort of bag. It's packing cubes. Oh my goodness. I have been wanting to get me some of these. Not that I go anywhere to pack anything, but every now and then we take little trips. How cute. It's a cute little like orange, and it's almost like, it reminds me of lemonade. It's like an ombre-ish orange and yellow. It almost kind of looks pinky. I think there's some more bags in here. So you have like 3 different size bags, packing cubes. Oh my God. This is like worth the $5, just this right here. Oh, Bella. Well, that was fun. FabFitFun. I definitely think I'm going to subscribe, because I know, because my sister-in-law gets all kinds of fun stuff. Sunglasses, robes, throws, all kinds of fun stuff that you can pick. You can pick your own thing. So yeah, I will definitely be doing that. Let me know in the comments, do you have FabFitFun? Do you love it? Also, have you read any of these books that I talked about today? What are your thoughts? Did you like Riley Sager's The House Across the Lake? Did you like Things We Do in the Dark? 'Cause I know there's some people out there that didn't really like Things We Do in the Dark. and I know didn't like House Across the Lake. The It Girl. How do you feel about The It Girl? Not my fave, but still an enjoyable good time. Yeah, what about Upgrade? Anybody read Upgrade? I had a really fun time this month, except for the fact that I got COVID. Once again, thank y'all so much for all the well wishes that you sent. I appreciate it very much. I am doing much better now. Glad it's over. That being said, thank y'all so much for watching. As always, hope you're all doing well out there. Stay safe. It's still out there. Hugs from me all around, and I'll see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye, y'all. I hate lotions. Yeah, I really do. I hate lotions.